No. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Kara Daniels from Deep Root Connections, and today I am here with Kim Shotola from the Lightfoot Way. She is the founder and director of the Lightfoot Way. She's a professional animal communicator, teacher, and mentor, and she is the creator of the Animal Heart and Soul Learning Center, which is an absolutely amazing resource for anybody who wants to learn more about massage therapy, tapping, energy, expand your knowledge on color, aromatherapy is just a gold mine of information. So I'll add links and all of her details and information in the emails and materials provided. But for right now, hello, Kim, and thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Kara. I'm delighted to be here, and thank you for your lovely introduction.
Well, I'm excited to talk about color today. We are getting so much snow and the world is cold and white and boring. So yeah, colors, how can they help us?
Yeah, I mean, color is just so fascinating. And you know, like you said, this time of year is the winter. And for instance, today is pretty dreary. It's blowing in your face, snow, wet, it's 0 degrees. So this is an ideal time for people to understand no matter what climate they're in, but for themselves and their animals, you know, what color can do for them. So a lot of people don't realize that color therapy, it's also called like chromotherapy, and it originates from different sources like China and India and Egypt. And a lot of people think, for instance, like animals can't see colors. Well, they see limited colors, as we have 3 cones as humans and animals have 2 cones. But it's not about what colors they can actually see. It's about that energetic vibration that the color gives off. So color therapy can be a little like awkward for people, thinking that can it really do something? How can it really benefit people and animals? And it absolutely can, because each color has its own energetic vibration. And I think that's what's absolutely fascinating, because most people don't realize that. You know, everything's made of energy, all matter has energy, colors have energy. And during times of the year, like now, with the weather, or when people are simply feeling depressed, or maybe their animals are even feeling down, what you can do is use color to raise your energetic vibration, to raise the animal's energetic vibration. So for instance, during this time of year, we lack a lot of sunlight. And I find it interesting that even with in the medical world, in the vitamin world, D3, for instance, people get deficient from that. And with even insurance companies, they are no longer covering D3 as something to be tested for. And you've got like our local hospital here that offers a special price for that particular factor to take a look at, because it is so crucial. And most people don't realize they're lacking it. So how else can you bring sunshine into the home besides taking D3, for instance? Well, what you can do is you can use the color yellow. Yellow is vibrant, it's cheery, it is sunshine. It's like a beautiful sunflower, I like to think. Who doesn't love a sunflower, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, but what you can do is bring in yellow flowers if they're around, even artificial flowers if you need to. You can put, oh my goodness, there's so many different ways to offer it. But like for the home, you know, you can use yellow, a blanket, a towel, a sheet, and the animal, for instance, could go and lay on or near it when they want to get the energy from that bright color. You can use for animals that might tear things up. There's people who even have used, like, say, construction paper, or maybe they've actually framed and protected the yellow paper, for instance, in a frame that the animals don't tend to bother framed pictures, for instance. So that might be something someone could do if they're going to tear fabric up. You can also use it on accessories, whether it's like a bowl or a collar. You could use it with lighting, I mean, we get usually just a white light, but you can get different colored lights, but yellow is really key during this time of year to really bring that vibrant energy into the home. There's just so many different ways you can do it. And there's other colors out there, like for some people, orange might be helpful, right? Because you kind of think sometimes, okay, the sun is a golden yellow, orange, ball of fire, for instance. But right, or the flames that are coming off if you have a wood burning stove or a fireplace. You've got those flames that have the soothing colors in them too. And there is a reason, it's not just the warmth, that also that energy coming from a fire, it's the colors that are also coming off of that. It's not just about the warmth. So that's a neat aspect too. But orange, you just have to be a little careful because it's kind of a derivative close to red. So that for some, for instance, with red can possibly aggravate or agitate, whether it's a physical health condition or like an emotional condition. So you might want to be careful with orange and just be aware of that. And that's how come yellow is a much easier and safer color to go with, because it's what more mimics the sun and that bright and cheery atmosphere and that energy that you're wanting, and if you're a person, of course, not that there's a lot of yellow clothing. I think I might have one t-shirt of yellow in my closet. Yellow's not very common, but maybe there's a yellow blanket or whatever, yellow scarf. There might be something, just bring yellow for yourself as a human. And then, but you can also get that energy if you're using yellow in your home for your animals. So, yeah, because you can just use yellow in so many different ways.
Oh, yellow. I love yellow. I love sunflowers. They really do just make the world go round for me.
I know. I really do. I love the sunflowers too. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah. So kind of to circle back around with the sunflowers, I have had multiple sessions with animals where they say that their pet or that their parent is sad, and they always say, bring in sunflowers. And it'll bring up the cheer, and that they both can simultaneously pull the happy energy off of it. And it is just really cool. I'm so glad you recommended that.
Oh, that's really neat. Yes, the sunflowers. And I've also had some animals that'll mention even like the daffodils, like the yellow daffodils, because maybe their pet parent is really is fond of daffodils. But yeah, they mentioned sunflowers and daffodils, I guess, more than anything as far as bringing in that yellow joy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And flowers too. They just bring a little breath of fresh air, bring outside in kind of concept.
Yes. And, and there's another thing too. I remember when Allison, my business partner, and we were doing a animal shelter tour in Houston of this shelter that was moving, amazing animal shelter, Friends for Life, and they were moving to a bigger location. But the director, she asked us to walk through the new place as they were going to be coming up with different paints for the different rooms. Oh. And yeah, it was really cool. So when we got to the room that was going to be where the sick animals were, we were like, this needs to be yellow to help bring the sunshine in. And there wasn't where, it wasn't near like an outside wall where there was the natural sunlight going to come in. It was more of an inside room, for instance. So we thought that was really cool, that they were honing in on the different colors for the different rooms and the different purposes. Yeah. And so when someone, whether it's an animal or person's not feeling up to par, whether it's physically or emotionally or both, that yellow on the walls, too, can just really help uplift them. It's like, I'm trying to remember if their previous color maybe was gray or something. And so
Oh,
it wasn't doing what it needed to do. And she knew that, right? So that was really wonderful, that new color became yellow. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I hope the animals really felt that. I couldn't imagine not
Yes.
feeling well and then being surrounded by gray. I don't know if you can kind of see my wall right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forest green for a reason.
Oh, that's lovely. I
Yeah,
know.
that's my unhappy
Green.
color.
Speaking of green too, depending on what's going on with sometimes when people or animals get depressed, it's harder for them to be grounded and to stay present in that moment, and they get too distracted, or maybe they're just too down, whatever it may be. And that green, and there's different shades of green, but the lighter greens, like the yellow, can be more uplifting. So whether it's like the peridot green or even a Christmas Kelly green, but the brighter greens can be uplifting and grounding at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So green can also be very helpful. I'm a big fan of forest green, but that sometimes can be a little bit on the darker side. So the energy can be more joyful, for instance, if it was a little bit on the lighter side of on the greens. But you get that extra support of the grounding, so that you can function better day to day. So maybe you want to do some yellow and some green, for instance.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you see that if someone notices that they're not being focused, or their animals are just not being attentive like they should be, that green could also be a great addition.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yellows, greens. Do you have any specific colors? I know you mentioned kind of red earlier to sort of stay away from, but do you have any other colors that you don't recommend maybe in the middle of winter?
Well, the red is good if you need to stimulate the appetite, for instance, or need more confidence, but not when there's, for instance, a serious health issue or a serious emotional issue, including like aggressive tendencies. So it has its purpose, the red does, but I would say you have to be really careful with those darker colors, the blacks and the browns and the grays, because they can have some positive frequencies to them, but when you use them for too long a period, it has the opposite effect. It is very depressing. Long-term use of gray or brown or black can be very depressing. So that's just something to keep in mind, because I know for some people, they like their clothing and they wear those darker shades, or maybe they do have walls in their room or a lot of accessories, in the furniture with those colors. And yes, they can look kind of natural and great, but again, too much of that just can weigh down on everyone living in that environment, and it can be depressive. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, and where you can get that, especially the yellows and the greens to brighten things up.
And do you have any kind of telltale signs or things for people to kind of keep their eyes on with their pets to determine if their animal's kind of feeling low or depressed or sad and need a little bit of
a Yeah, if they normally are a very motivated animal, and all of a sudden they don't have interest, I'm sure it's always good, for instance, to if you're concerned, to have a vet check them out, make sure there's nothing actually physically going on, especially if they're older or have a compromised immune system. But just keeping an eye on their attitude, and make sure they're all right. But just lack of attention, a lack of focus, just not wanting to engage. Just like we can get depressive and not want to do anything, and the animals can get that same way too. And it's easy for an animal, I'm say, to feed off, for instance, of what their human is doing, because especially if they're so connected. So if their pet parent is feeling down, then they might get down too, and they can be worried about their pet parent. So just know that the animals definitely tune into the pet parents. And if you're noticing that it's with them, ask yourself, is this something going on with myself too? Maybe I'm not as perky as I normally am. Maybe I come home and I talk to my dog, and I haven't been doing that lately because I've been so worried about things, or the weather's so dreary, and I'm not being myself. And so, wow, look, that looks like they're not being their selves. So just really know that they're so connected. So many animals are really connected to their pet parents, especially if they might be the only animal in the household, or maybe it's, not many, but even if you had multiple animals in the household, there's always going to be at least one that's super special, super connected, perhaps your heart and soul animal that you just feel that intense bond with. And those are more the ones that would be likely to really tune into you and feed off of your own emotions, your own well-being. So yeah, it's a great point.
Yeah, usually it goes hand in hand for sure. I was just thinking while you were talking too about what to bring in and how to bring in the colors. You were talking blankets, pillows, and things like that. And I just realized, so I have a little special, I call it their placemat spot, where they go and sit in the kitchen. And I use bath mats so they don't fly around, and I can pick colors. And
that's great.
I have one that's brown, one that's blue, one that's green, and then I had one that was red. And I just have to make this point because nobody would use the red one. They would always choose any of the other ones, and I would just let them pick. And the red one is just like, I might as well throw it away or give it to somebody else, because nobody would ever touch it.
Interesting. Yeah. And there, like I said, the red has its place, but you just have to be careful with red. Yeah, we've seen a lot of health issues with animals that live in homes that have a lot of red, and those pet parents have had to work on eliminating the red, even including animals, for instance, with cancer. So it's just something to be aware of. Like I said, it has its purpose, just like all the colors are beautiful, and they all have their purpose, and they all have their things to watch out for. But red seems to be one that just to keep a little closer eye on. Or orange, since it's a derivative, but it's not going to have the intense energy quite as red. But you still might see some of those effects from the orange that you could get from the red. So it's just something to keep in mind. And so you pay attention, how are you feeling with those colors? How does your animal respond to those colors? Maybe orange is great for y'all, so you just keep an eye on it. But it's fascinating that you mentioned how you had those different colors of the bath mats. And they really just never were drawn to the red.
Yeah. I was just like, I didn't really notice until I met you a few years ago, and I was just like, red, obviously. My animals are not compatible with red.
Yeah, and what's funny is we've actually had pet parents say, my animal, cat or dog, they like to lay on the Christmas tree skirt, and it's a green Christmas tree skirt. And so it's been kind of interesting that they recognize the energy from that color, and they a number of them will actually go and try and lay on the Christmas tree skirt if it doesn't have like the manger and the presents and all that under it, but where they can get on it. A cat might be a little easier than a dog, but
how funny.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So they find where they can get it, because a lot of people don't have just green laying around in their home. But during the holidays, people have the trees, and they have the skirts. Yeah. And that might provide them. Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. So to recap, blankets and pillows, mats,
Lighting,
pictures, lighting, all of the things that you can bring into your home or change easily.
accessories. Yeah. And you don't have to go to the trouble of like buying a brand new collar or leash or that kind of thing. It can be something, that I don't say you both could use a blanket. I know I have a dog that sometimes she likes to share a blanket with me. So
Oh, snuggle
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yes,
But we both can benefit from the blankets. Yeah.
all right, let me think if I have any other questions. What else can we do? Yeah, I can't think of anything. Kim, do you want to add anything else about? Oh, here's an activity we can offer people to do. Just wander around your house and see what colors you have. Maybe you hadn't ever really noticed, but maybe you have a dominant color in your household and you're thinking, oh, maybe I don't like it as much as I thought I did. Or maybe I can offset it by putting a pretty base or something on it to kind of
Right.
change the energy. And so all you watching, you have an assignment. Go around your home and see the colors that you have intentionally or unintentionally brought in and see how you feel about them. Sometimes seasonal decor can really make a difference. So.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful activity for people to do. And like you said, it's not like they have to go out and buy a brand new this or that. You have a couch, just cover it up if you can. Cover it up and still make use of it, but use that brighter color. And color therapy can be pretty powerful. It's probably one of the simplest holistic wellness things that you can do for both people and animals is the power of color. And so I definitely encourage everyone to really just take a close look at things. Look at your home, even the outside of the home, the inside of the home, and just see what you can do, especially during this time of year when sunlight is lacking for many places. And people's, definitely feel it with their emotions, and animals can too. And just, there are simple things that you can do to just bring that life, that vibrancy back into your home. So.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm going to go wander around my house when we're all done here. Try everything out.
Yeah. And if people haven't gotten the, on your website, I know there's the color therapy chart. So it goes into different colors and how it can help with physical properties and mental, emotional properties, spiritual properties, and then some precautions. So you can get that for free. Just go to Kara's website and you can receive that color therapy chart that is applicable for both people and animals, and you can print it out and take it with you.
So cool. And thank you, Kim. That was her gift for the group here. So you can go to her website too and get it. That is all her doing, and it's wonderful. So Kim, how can people find you, or do you have anything exciting coming up this year that you want to talk about real fast?
Oh, okay. So our website is thelightfootway.com, and we do have mediumship spirit world training coming up, an opportunity in Montana, and then also a distance program. So some opportunities there. And then we also have animal communication teleclasses come up. So these are all happening starting February and March, and those are the things that are happening I should say right around the calendar coming up for the new year, for this new year. But you can check out our class and event page and get on our email list. Really, we do the articles, Saturday articles. We try and provide informative, holistic, metaphysical information to help your animals. And there's a lot of articles in the archives that you can go back and look at too. And then you actually get, when you get on our email list, you'll get an intuitive, it's a beautiful meditation that goes through your chakras, your energy centers in your body, to help open up and expand your intuitive abilities even more. So that is our gift to you for joining our email list. But anyway, yeah, just check out our website and let us know if you have any questions.
Yes, everybody go to their website. They have just so much going on. And Kim here is an excellent teacher. She is one of mine. And I couldn't have done any of the things that I've been doing lately without her. So she's amazing. So go check her out. Yeah, and I guess that's all I have on color therapy today. And if anybody watching has additional questions, go ahead and send us emails and we can kind of circle back around and answer anything else that you might have. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to answer any questions. And one way or another, Kara and I will get back with you if you have a question on that. So.
Okay, yay. Well, thank you so much, Kim. I appreciated your time today, and I'm sure we will be in touch soon.
Okay, thank you, Kara, and for doing this wonderful event.
Thanks.